She had her. She absolutely had her. 5-1 in the second set. One more game. That is all EALA needed. One more game, and she was going to force a deciding third set against a former Grand Slam champion who had already beaten her in the first set. The crowd in Linz could feel it. EALA could feel it. And then, in the span of about 30 minutes, it all disappeared. 6 straight games to Ostapenko. Match over. 6-4, 7-5. And EALA walked off that court, carrying one of the most painful feelings in all of sports. The feeling of having a match in your hands, being one game away, and watching it slip through your fingers 1 point at a time. This is the full story of the most emotionally devastating moment of EALA's 2026 season so far. The missed chances, the momentum swings, the frustration, the anger, and what it all means for what comes next. Let us start at the beginning, because to understand just how painful this loss was, you need to understand the full arc of this match from the very first point. EALA walked onto that clay court in Linz on April 8, 2026, with everything going her way. She had just beaten Julia Grapper the day before in a tight, well-controlled performance that gave her rhythm and confidence on the clay. She had beaten Ostapenko twice already in 2025, once on hard court in Miami and once on grass in Eastbourne. She was the one with the psychological edge coming into this match. She was ranked 46th in the world. Ostapenko was 23rd. On paper, Ostapenko had the ranking advantage, but in the head-to-head, EALA was 2-0. She had solved this puzzle before, and early in this match, it looked like she was about to solve it again. The first set started with both players trading holds through the opening games. Neither could find a break. The clay was slowing everything down, giving both players time to reset between points. Then in the 7th game, EALA struck first. She broke Ostapenko's serve and built a 4-2 lead. She was playing composed, controlled tennis. She was keeping the ball deep, forcing Ostapenko to work from behind the baseline. And when the opportunities came, she was converting. 4-2 in the first set. Looking good. Looking like EALA was going to take control. And then Ostapenko flipped the switch. From 2-4 down, the Latvian won 4 straight games, 4 straight. She broke EALA twice in that run and closed out the first set 6-4. It was a reminder of just how explosive and dangerous Ostapenko can be when her timing clicks. One moment she is struggling, leaking errors, looking like she cannot find her range. The next moment, she is hitting clean, flat, penetrating ground strokes that EALA has no answer for. The first set was a warning. It should have told EALA exactly what was coming if she let Ostapenko find her game at any point in the second set. The second set started better for EALA than anyone could have expected. She came out swinging. She broke Ostapenko early and then kept breaking. The games were flying by. EALA won 4 straight to build a 4-0 lead in the second set. It was stunning. She had completely turned the match around in a matter of minutes. From losing the first set to racing to a 4-love lead in the second. The momentum was entirely hers. She was moving better, striking the ball cleaner, and Ostapenko was the one leaking double faults and making unforced errors under the pressure. And then came the moment that everyone watching will remember. Ostapenko down 4-1 and 15-40 on her own serve, completely at EALA's mercy, suddenly stopped playing and turned toward the crowd. A spectator had said something that got under her skin, and in full view of the broadcast cameras, Ostapenko told that spectator to take her racket and come play, since apparently they thought they knew better than she did. It was a raw, unfiltered moment of frustration from a champion who was struggling. She was furious, she was tight, she was unraveling. And for EALA, that was the moment to go in for the kill. That was the moment to close this match out before Ostapenko could reset. EALA broke one more time, 5-1. She was 1 game away from a third set. 1 game away from putting a Grand Slam champion under maximum pressure in a deciding set on clay. The crowd was watching in disbelief at the scoreline. Ostapenko, who had just confronted a fan in the stands, was down 5-1 and staring at the edge of elimination. This was EALA's match to take. She could not take it. Ostapenko held serve in the 7th game to make it 5-2. Then she broke EALA in the 8th game, 5-3. And right there, right at that moment, you could start to feel something shifting. The energy was different. Ostapenko was not going away. She was fighting. She was grinding. She was finding a gear that simply had not been there earlier in the 2nd set. And the question was whether EALA had the experience and the mental strength to hold off a charging former Grand Slam champion under that kind of pressure. The answer, on this particular night in Linz, was no. Ostapenko won the 9th game to make it 5-4. Then she broke EALA to level the set at 5-all. 6 straight games, 6 in a row, from 1-5 to 5-5 in what felt like the blink of an eye. The momentum had completely reversed. EALA, who had been controlling this match for most of the 2nd set, suddenly found herself in a dogfight she had not been prepared for. She was making errors. She was tightening up. She was feeling the weight of the opportunity she was letting slip away. And Ostapenko, now fully locked in, was playing her best tennis of the entire match at the worst possible moment for EALA. Ostapenko broke EALA in the 11th game to take a 6-5 lead, and then held her own serve to close out the match. Final score, 6-4, 7-5. Match time 1 hour and 43 minutes. And when the last ball landed, EALA stood at the baseline and felt everything that any competitor feels when they let a match like that get away. The frustration was real. The anger was real. She had been 1 game away. She had built a 5-1 lead from nowhere. She had the crowd buzzing. She had Ostapenko arguing with spectators in the stands, and she could not close it out. The numbers from this match tell you exactly where the gap was. Ostapenko hit 41 winners in that match. 41. EALA hit 9. 9 winners compared to 41. That is the firepower differential between a 20-year-old who is still developing her clay court game and a 28-year-old Grand Slam champion who has been one of the most dangerous ball strikers on tour for nearly a decade. When Ostapenko found her range in the 2nd set, when she started flattening out her ground strokes and hitting with that clean, aggressive pace that makes her so hard to defend, EALA simply did not have enough weapons to match her. The winners kept coming, the defense kept breaking down, and the lead kept shrinking. This loss was frustrating for reasons that go beyond just the scoreline. EALA had entered the Linz Open ranked 46th in the world, a number that had already dropped from 32nd after her early exit in Miami. A quarterfinal run in Linz would have meant significant ranking points and a much-needed boost before the rest of the clay season. Instead, she collected 60 ranking points for the round of 16 exit and moved up just 1 place to 45th in the live rankings. She earned €15,000 in prize money. For a player of her ability and ambition, those numbers represent a missed opportunity. Not just a sporting one, but a career one. The kind of match where a win changes your trajectory for the rest of the season. Former British number 1 Greg Rusetsky weighed in on what he sees as the challenge facing EALA. He compared her to Manny Pacquiao in terms of what she means to the Philippines and its hunger for sporting heroes. He acknowledged she is a talented player who has been at the Nadal Academy for years. But he also suggested that to compete consistently with the best players, she needs to keep adding new weapons and new layers to her game. And watching her against Ostapenko in Linz, that assessment feels accurate. She can build leads. She can control portions of matches brilliantly. But when a top player finds their level at the critical moment, EALA is still learning how to close the door. That is not a criticism. It is a fact of development. She is 20 years old. She has beaten Madison Keys, Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff by retirement, and Jasmine Paolini. She has been to the semi-finals of a WTA 1000 event. She is coached by Tony Nadal. She has every ingredient to become one of the best players in the world. But moments like this one in Linz are part of the education. The 5-1 lead that slipped, the 6 straight games she conceded to a player she had beaten twice before, the one game she could not win when everything was on the line. Those moments are going to make her better. They have to. Because here is what is also true. EALA competed with Ostapenko for almost the entire match. She led in both sets. She played some genuinely brilliant tennis in stretches. She showed that her clay court game is developing fast. And she had a Grand Slam champion so rattled that she was arguing with spectators in the crowd during a critical stretch. The margin between EALA and the players ranked above her is not enormous. It is not a skill gap. It is an experience gap. And experience is only earned one match at a time, one close loss at a time, one painful 5-1 second set collapse at a time. Stuttgart is next. The Porsche Tennis Grand Prix, a WTA 500 tournament on indoor clay. The same surface, even stronger opponents. And Alex EALA will walk into that arena carrying the memory of Linz, carrying the specific sharp sting of being one game away and not getting there. That kind of memory does not disappear. It lives inside a competitor. It pushes them. It changes how they approach the next opportunity when they are one game away from putting a match away. And in Stuttgart, against a field that includes Sabalenka, Gauff, Swiatek, Rybakina, and yes, potentially Jasmine Paolini in a rematch, there will be moments like that again. Moments that demand ice in the veins and belief in the hands. The question is not whether Alex EALA will have those moments. The question is what she does when they come. And based on everything she has shown in her short but extraordinary career so far, the answer is that she will keep fighting. She will keep learning. And eventually, in a match that matters more than a round of 16 in Linz, she is going to be one game away, and she is going to close it out. That day is coming. Linz just was not it. Subscribe right now if you want to follow every step of EALA's clay season journey, from Stuttgart to Madrid to Roland Garros. Drop a comment below and tell me what you think she needs to work on most heading into Stuttgart. Check out the other videos on screen for more coverage of everything happening in the WTA clay swing. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.